a big NFL draft party tonight for fantasy football, so I'm pulling out the grub. I got beef brisket going, an Italian beef sandwich going, but this video is going to be dedicated to something very simple that guys and gals love: homemade macaroni and cheese. Now, I'm not going to be fixing this. My wife, the queen of the sides, is going to be fixing this, so I turn it over to her now. But first I want you to see my new Weber real quick. I'm going to show my new Weber out there. See it, the black thing? It's my new Weber smoker. So that's where the brisket, oh, and I got pulled pork in there too. I'm
making the mac and cheese, and we're making a big batch because we have 12 hungry guys for the party. So I've got the macaroni already cooked, ready to go. It's 2 pounds. 2 pounds of macaroni. Now,
2 pounds of dry.
Yeah, 2 pounds dry. Well, what is it when you put water in it, Dave? You know?
4 pounds.
Really? You don't know, do you? Okay, we're gonna make a roux first. This is homemade mac and cheese. So you make a roux with butter and flour. And we've got a stick of butter. Remember, this is 2 pounds. So you'd have to, if you're feeding a crowd, this is a good amount. But if you're, you'll have to cut everything in half if you want to make a smaller amount. So just cut these portions in half. So you're gonna melt the butter. While the butter's melting, we're gonna actually turn it down a little because I can hear it sizzling, so we'll turn it down. And then I have a half of a block of Velveeta cheese. I like to use a mixture of Velveeta and shredded cheddar because I like the consistency of Velveeta. Whoa, that was close. But I like the sharpness of the cheddar, so I think it makes a good mixture. And I'm just gonna chunk this up so that it'll melt more quickly. All right, basically a roux is just a beginning of a basic white sauce. So use equal amounts of butter and equal amounts of flour. So since we have a half cup of butter, we're adding half cup of flour. Again, if you want to make half of this, do 1/4 cup of flour and a half stick of butter. And then 1 pound of macaroni for a smaller group. And basically you just want to incorporate that flour in there, and you want to get it nice and smooth so you don't have any lumps. And then you also want to cook that floury taste out just a little bit and turn it down so it's not
What's the French name
too
for
crazy.
this?
Roux. I'm using the French term. It's R-O-U-X is how it's spelled. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And now it's time to add the milk, which will basically, this is the roux is the thing that's going to thicken up your milk and make the sauce. And you can use white sauce for a lot of different things. It's the basic sauce for a lot of different sauces. Okay, so we are going to add, this is 8 cups of milk. You want to add it kind of slowly at first. And just incorporate that. You gotta stir kind of fast and just keep adding it.
You want the whisk?
Yeah, you could grab me the whisk. That might help, although I'm doing a pretty good job here.
Sorry about the camera work, guys. Switch it.
He's assisting now. That's good. I grab that. Okay. I'm gonna turn my heat up a little too because the milk was cold. And so we'll just keep whisking that in. This is good for your biceps too, ladies, if you're doing 8 cups, or guys, or wimpy guys. Okay, you're just gonna keep stirring this and watch until it just barely starts to boil. That means it's gonna start thickening pretty quickly. So we will, that's a cell phone. We will just watch this, continue stirring until it starts to boil, and then we'll show you how nice and thick it is. We're still not boiling yet, but we're adding the spices. Okay, yeah. I don't know what you're asking, but anyway, we're adding it now. Some salt, some pepper to taste. Remember, you're adding Velveeta cheese, which is pretty salty, so I'm not adding a lot of salt. I think I put in maybe 2 teaspoons. Pepper, though, add a lot of pepper. Pepper tastes good in macaroni cheese. Then, we're going to add just a little bit of cayenne for a little extra kick.
Booyakasha!
Oh my God, you scared me. And, you don't want to add a whole lot because, some people don't like it. We're doing traditional here, traditional mac and cheese.
What's the point of the cayenne if you don't taste it?
You will taste it. It'll be just a little something, something in the back.
Booyakasha!
Now, you can tell it's starting to get close because around the edges of the pan, the milk is starting to kind of stick to it a little bit. And when it sticks to the back of a spoon, you know.
And this was a large body of liquid, which is why it took
a while. We're almost there. It's still running off pretty easily, but we are close to it being ready.
All right, be right back.
We didn't mention this, but you want a heavy bottomed nice pot for this, because if it's a thin aluminum pan, you're gonna burn the milk and scald it, and it'll be scummy and stuck to the bottom. This one's clean, nice thick bottom. We are ready to add the cheese, because you can tell
the Dutch oven
starting
would work too, wouldn't it, for this?
Oh, excuse me, I have pepper.
She turned her head.
I did, and I sneezed into my sleeve. Yeah, you can tell it's starting to stick now really well. So we're ready to add the cheese and the macaroni. I'm going to add the macaroni before I add the cheese, because the macaroni's been sitting out, sticking a little. Right? Macaroni, and you can see it is kind of clumped together, but when it gets in this nice bath of creaminess, it's gonna just be fine. Can you turn that off, because I gotta work this a little. All right, it's time to, now see, you know, it was kind of clumped together, but when you put it in there, it all is nicely separated. So we're adding the cheeses now. There's our Velveeta. That's the creamy one. This one's the sharp, we like sharp cheddar. It adds a lot of flavor. So don't be skimpy on the cheese. That is 2 pounds of cheese to 2 pounds of macaroni.
All right. This is what she looks like, nice and cheesy. You can see the string cheese. Oh, this is going to be so good.
It's not string cheese, but stringy.
No, Liz asked me to pour it.
Yeah, I needed some muscle here.
And I needed to work out, so here we go. I've sprayed this with just a typical non-stick spray canola stuff. And we're going to actually, to keep the kitchen from getting hot, we're going to cook this on our gas grill outside.
Okay, and I made some breadcrumbs. We'll put those on top and
be right back.
Show you the finished deal.
Okay, now we're adding the cheese, another layer of cheese. I know it's crazy, but it's mac and cheese. And then some toasted breadcrumbs. Really provides good. Bake at 350 for about 30 minutes.
Do you have